Hi everybody, I'm going to talk to you about some time management skills and how you can make Beachbody work into your daily schedule. So every one of us has something different going on. We have coaches who work full time and do this on the side. We have coaches that do this 100% full time, which is incredible. We have coaches who do this full time, go to school full time, and have families. And when I first started out, I'm still employed full time, and I also was a full time student. I've since graduated, but it was a lot on my plate, and I felt like I had a decent system, even though it's not going to be perfect for everybody. It worked really well for me. And what I did was, this is just a broad way of putting it, but I did Beachbody in the morning. So my workout, my invites, my posts, everything I did early in the morning before I went to work. Then I did my normal work day. I would respond to people on my break or in between appointments, or if I had a downtime and could jump on my phone, I would go ahead and respond to their posts. And then after work was my homework time. So I'd cook dinner, come home, do schoolwork, really didn't have much time to do Beachbody, and that's okay. That's what worked for me, and that's what got me to where I am today. So one thing that I think is really going to help you with time management is first getting yourself a planner. So my planner has the month at a glance, and then each page has a week at advance. So on those weeks, I like to write in who I'm inviting that day, and who I invited that day or who I spoke to. And then I always have a notebook that I'm working from. And I usually will write a whole new list of 100, and I'll work from that every month. So it's hard to hit 100 people each month, and now I'm going, past a year here, so I've hit a lot of my warm market. They're pretty much dried up, and I'm getting into the cold market area, which you'll learn in other videos. But I will make a goal to say, okay, I'm going to message 10 people from Instagram today, and I write them down. Then I will say whether or not I just said, hey girl, I invited them to a coaching group, I invited them to a challenge group. So when I do that, then I have something to work from. So you'll hear a lot of the coaches talk about making lists or doing a power hour, and those lists come in handy. So I still, to this day, even though I'm done with school, I still like to keep the morning for my workout. And to me, that's Beachbody, because we have to be a product of the product. So I get my workout in 30 minutes. It's in the books. I post the picture of it. Usually a couple people like it. If anybody's new, I go ahead and grab them, and then I know who I'm going to message the next day. So that's a quick tidbit of how I do things. But one thing that you're always going to want to do is prioritize. So, if you are working full time and you're trying to squeeze this into your day, and you have a family and you have to cook for them and yourself, and you have a social life that you want to keep going, you're not going to be able to do Beachbody 24/7. You're going to burn out, you're going to get flustered, and it's just not going to work. So you need to find a method that's going to work for you. Don't be on your phone all day. It's draining. Set time aside for answering people's questions, for sending those invitations, for messaging people, and being able to follow up with them. So for me, my big work days are Mondays and Saturdays. That's just the way I prefer it. So I send out mass messages on Mondays and Saturdays because that works for me. Some coaches will message 5 people each day or 10 people each day. It's whatever works best for you, and that's something you really need to focus on, because what works for you is not going to work for me, and it's not going to work for the other coaches, or it might. It doesn't matter. Everybody's on their own journey here, just like they are for weight loss. We all are for our coaching journey too. So let yourself fail forward. Let yourself try some things out that might not work. It's okay. Another thing you want to do, and just keep this in the back of your mind, is read Go for No. Go for No was an extremely powerful book for me and my team to read, because it taught us a little bit about, asking people to buy. We're not salesmen, we're sharing our story, but we do have to ask people to join us in that journey, right? So Go for No. It's an incredible book, and I really think it'll help you with not only time management, but it'll help you with realizing that everything's not going to work the way we plan it in our heads. And that brings me to my next point, which is you may plan to message 10 people on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Saturday gets here and you message 2 people. It happens. You went from messaging 50 down to 2. How do you go with the flow? How do you come back from that? You just pick up right where you left off. Just like with weight loss, coaching mimics it to the T. So you're not going to be perfect. You are not going to, hit 100 Success Club points in your first month. If you do, that's quite impressive. But you might not get there, and that's okay. Make small goals for each day. So if my goal is to message 5 people, I'm going to write down those 5 people I'm going to message in my planner. And then on top of that, I am going to follow up with how did I message them? Hey girl, coach, or challenge group. Then I'm going to put them on the next day on my calendar to follow up with them if I hadn't heard back from them, or maybe 2 or 3 days later, depending on who they are, how I know them, etc. And then I'm going to schedule time for my challenge group. For me, every single night after I get home from work or before I go to bed, depending on how they all post, I go into my challenge group and I message everybody. I don't send emojis. I don't just hit like. I comment on every single post because they're taking the time out of their day to do it. I can do the same thing. And we're their coach. They look up to us. So I did my invites. I got into my challenge group. And now I need to figure out how I'm going to post to my likes page, my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and in Twitter, Periscope, whatever form you use. So what I do for my Facebook Messenger is on Sunday night or Saturday, depending on the time, I will post the entire week out. Facebook's likes page has a scheduler. It's incredible. It's free. It works fantastic. I also subscribe to Buffer. Now, a lot of people don't want to spend the money on Buffer up front because, they're just starting. They're afraid to spend money on something that they don't know if it'll work. But I encourage you, once you get going with your business, get Buffer or Hootsuite. I use Buffer, so I can speak to that a little bit easier. But Buffer is $10 a month, and you can schedule out your entire challenge group. So for me, I schedule everything the first of the month or whenever the group starts, and I will make a post every morning for 6 a.m. Now, I'm not up at 6 a.m. every morning, or if I am, I'm exercising, so I'm not, at the computer. So I've got my pre-post done, it's ready to go, and then I can go back in and just chat freely with my challengers. So I've got my invites, I've got my social media posts, I've checked on my challengers, and now I need to set a day aside for me. You have to set time for you so you don't get burned out. So don't forget to do that. Go out on a date with your significant other. Have fun with your family. Have play dates with your kids. Do whatever it is that's going to work for you. But one thing I recommend is get a planner and get a notebook, and always keep them handy. Do not be tied down to your phone. Okay? It's a wonderful tool, but it's so easily accessible. We can get tied up in the flow of what's going on with Beachbody. So, if you get a message at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're in a meeting, don't freak out. You can message them at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or even the next day to respond to them. Ask them what their questions are, show them that you care, and it doesn't matter that it took you, a couple hours to get back to them. So good luck, enjoy the rest of your training, and we'll all talk to you soon. Bye-bye.